Welcome to this House of Wrestling on Inside the Ropes exclusive. It is me, Nick Hausman. Come on in, everybody. Take your shoes off. Put your hat on the coat rack over here. Get settled in by the fire because we have a great guest sitting here in the living room today inside House of Wrestling, fresh off of his appearances at WWE SmackDown and Raw as part of the 2023 draft. It is WWE Hall of Famer Teddy Long. Teddy, thank you so much for taking the time to chat with me here today.
Hey, no problem, Nick. Thank you so much for having me, man. You know, me and you, we always together.
Oh, of course. Well, I mean, you know, where there's smoke, there's fire, right?
Exactly.
Yes, thank you. We're going to blaze through the next 15, 20 minutes, whatever it is you're talking to Teddy. But I'll get right to it, man. You were there. You were backstage for SmackDown and Raw. First of all, what was the vibe like when you got at SmackDown? Did it feel any different than recent WWE appearances you've done with the company?
Well, no, not much different. You know, a lot of things have changed now. You know, since I've been there was there as general manager. It's a whole lot different now. You know, don't see much of an authority figure. I know Adam is there. You know, but I mean, he does a little bit of something every now and then, but not that real authority figure like as the GM. But the vibe was great. I just had a great time seeing a lot of the young talent. Selena Vega for one of them. You know, great girl. I mean, outstanding worker. I had a chance to talk with her. Sami Zayn, who I really think a whole lot of. Had spent a little time with Usos, the Bloodline, and MVP almost. I had a chance to talk with those guys. So everything was good, man. And just to watch the business change and and stuff, it's just amazing to me.
So Sami Zayn's an interesting name you brought up because I saw the road trip video that Mac put out with you guys, and Sami Zayn makes an appearance for that. Does a little promo work for you there.
Well, I always, me and Sammy, I always told him, even before he got to be as big as he is, I told him, he'll tell you that, I said, man, you're the next big thing here. I said, you just watch what I tell you. And so yesterday, I was there and I asked him, we do a little promo for me and Max podcast, and he agreed to do that for me, man. And so I really thank him and appreciate it.
Yeah, that's awesome, dude. I mean, he's on fire right now. Sami Zayn, if you predicted he was going to be big, you were right because he's really big these days.
Right. Well, he'll tell you. I told him that even when I saw it coming, I had a chance to be at the Raw 30th, and that's when I really had a chance to talk to him then, and that's when I told him. And right after that, brother, it's set ablaze. Tell you what I really was impressed with was last night with Dominic Mysterio, brother. He's got more heat than anybody, and that's how you do it. That's real heat. Because if it took me all the way back to the Vicky Guerrero days, because you remember Vicky, as soon as she opened her mouth, they started booing. They wouldn't even let her talk. And the same thing hit Dominique last night. So he's got the real heat there.
So what do you think makes Dominic such a good heel?
Well, Dominique has got such a great father, Rey Mysterio, somebody that knows this business in and out and able to talk to him and train him the right way and show him exactly how this really works. And the next thing that makes it so much heat is because you tell the story that deals with the family. Nobody wants to see a son mistreat his father. Nobody wants to see a father mistreat their son. So when you involve family in it, you're telling a real story there. You touch a lot of, emotions.
Well, I've heard people say that once this whole the Mysterio family stuff wraps up, maybe Dominic Mysterio won't be as good or as interesting as a heel. Do you think that's a case or no?
I disagree with that. I think when this thing with him and Rey Mysterio is over, I think Dominic will be a bigger star and a better heel than he is right now. So what I'm saying, I believe right in this stage, I think what they're happening with Dominic now, he's being groomed. And like I said, whenever this blows off with him and Ray, him and his father, I think they put him with whoever else they're going to put him with, and he'll still have the same exact heat, but they got to do it right.
He looks so much like Eddie Guerrero and acts like Eddie Guerrero. It really kind of makes you think,
Well, that's the realness in there. You know what I mean? If you go back, you remember they did the story with him and Dominique where they were saying that Eddie was his father.
We all remember. You lived it. We all watched it on television, Teddy.
Yes. And that's great. I mean, because that's reality. That's life. There are people walking around right now that basically are not sure who their dad is, or somebody told them, well, this is your father. Then 3 or 4 years down the road, they find out that it wasn't. It was somebody else. So that's real life.
Yeah, for sure. Well, hey, back to you here real quick. So you're at the show. A lot of people were very confused the first night. You were doing a pick for Raw on the SmackDown show. You are synonymous with WWE SmackDown. They got it right on Raw. You were back to doing SmackDown picks. What did you think about doing a pick for Raw? Did that feel weird to you?
Well, no, not at all. Because what I thought that they were doing then, is not to get the people confused and really have them to think that I'm coming back to run SmackDown. So,
Right.
and I thought that was a good move, right there, because I'm not coming back to be the GM. I'm just coming back to be a part of the draft or whatever else, they want me to do. So I think that was good. It didn't feel weird to me at all.
Yeah, and you got paired up with JBL, another person.
Yeah. Well, me and JBL, we've been friends ever since, I started in WWE in 1998, man. And so just a great honor to be out there with him. And, when he, if we can go back, he gave me one of the greatest Hall of Fame speeches that I think anybody could ever do, because he told the truth and he said exactly like it was. And so, I love JBL. He cares a lot about me. And we're a team together, man. What a great guy.
Yeah, for sure. You look great. There were a lot of talents that were brought in. You had Bischoff in there. Rob Van Dam was there. Did you and RVD have a chance to sneak out back?
Of course we did. We did.
Nice. How was it?
Yes, sir.
How was that? How was that hanging out with Rob, getting loose?
Well, brother, we had a hell of a conversation. That's all I can tell you.
Okay, got it. Wonderful. Well, speaking of backstage, so like the big thing, everybody's wondering about, the backstage vibe at this show, because it seems like, there's a lot of change going on. First of all, was Vince backstage? Did you notice he was back there at all doing anything, or no?
No, I didn't see Vince at all.
Okay. And was Hunter then running the show from Gorilla and all that?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, because a lot of people are curious right now if Vince is back and he's got his fingerprints on the product. But I didn't know from your perspective if you saw anything, or if it just felt like business as normal with Hunter running the show there that day.
No, everything was just like Vince was there. I didn't see him, but Hunter and Bruce Pritchard, they were running things. So everything was smooth, just like Vince was there.
Yeah, for sure. Well, and one of the other groups you said you got the chance to talk to backstage that I wanted to follow up on was the Usos, man. Dude, the Bloodline is crushing it right now, and I'm sure getting to pick their minds right now. I mean, this is like the peak of the Usos' career right now. A lot of people are talking about how they're arguably getting in the realm of like greatest tag team of all time discussions. You feel that way when you hang out with these guys, when you see their work?
Yes, I do. And like I said, I've known those kids there, man, the Usos, when they were babies, when they were just little bitty kids with Rikishi. I remember going down to Pensacola, Florida, when Rikishi was living there, and they were growing up as kids. So I remember them way back when. And so I've always known them. And so I told Jimmy, I told him this right to his face. I said, brother, believe me, this is the hottest thing that they've got right now. This takes us back. What they're doing takes us back to the Attitude Era. I mean, where you want to come and you want to see it and you want to find out what's going to happen. So these guys are just on fire right now. And so I just hope they keep doing the right thing and keep this thing going.
It sounds like you think the WWE creative is going in largely a good direction at the moment.
Well, I really do. I really do. It's certainly turned around, man. Things are, really better now, than, some of the previous shows that I had a chance to watch, but right now I think they're on fire.
Well, a lot of people got upset when Cody Rhodes lost at WrestleMania, and I don't know if you share that same passion. You feel Cody should have won that night, but I hear from people every day frustrated about that loss and how they're like, oh, I don't know where you put Cody or Roman Reigns from here. I don't know what you thought about that decision.
Well, my thing is this, there's a time for everything. A lot of the wrestling fans, they don't understand, this is based on timing. Sometimes it's not the right time to put the belt on somebody. You have to wait a little bit, build something, get a story, get something to work there, and then put the belt on him. So I really don't, because I don't know what their plans are for Cody. I don't know which way they're going or what they're going to do with him. But whatever decision that they make, they made it for a reason. And I guarantee you, maybe the people that didn't like that decision, probably as this thing continues to move on with Cody and Brock, then they'll see exactly why they didn't do it.
Do you think there'd be interest in doing another Cody match, like a Cody Roman Reigns match, now that down the road, or do you think that they've kind of,
Well, I don't know. I think the only way that they do that, then Cody would have to do something real spectacular to Brock Lesnar. Cody would have to some kind of way slip over on Brock, and then you put Cody back with Roman.
Yeah. We're going into Backlash in Puerto Rico. First of all, how cool is it that WWE is returning to Puerto Rico? That's a great country for pro wrestling. I don't know how much business you've done down there working over the years.
You know what? I never did any business there. Never been to Puerto Rico at all. I almost went there at one time. They Carlos Colon, I think he called me and talked to me, and Laurinaitis blocked it so that I couldn't go.
Wait.
Yeah,
Really?
exactly. Yeah, they told me that.
Well, okay. Well, all right. Well, I think it's cool they're going. Bad Bunny was in the house. Is there any chance you got to see Bad Bunny hanging around backstage or anything like
yes,
that?
I did. Yeah, I got a chance to say hello to him, man. What a great guy.
Yeah, for sure. What do you think of what he's doing right now?
Well, I think what he's doing, he's having a great time. He's enjoying, having the time of his life. He's got his own career, but he's a wrestling fan, and also he wanted to be a part of this business. And so for him to be able to move from what he's doing into the wrestling world, I think that's a great thing. And like I said, he's doing something that he's wanted to do all his life, and he's having a good time.
What's he like when he's there? Is he hanging out in the locker room, or is he like away from everybody? Is he one of the boys? What kind of guy is he?
Well, I just saw him, walking around, with talking to a couple of the guys, the talent. I think the guy that he's working with in Puerto Rico, and that's it. He was as cool as he could be.
Yeah. Man, it's crazy right now how they've been able to successfully co-op guys like him and Logan Paul and bring them in and actually have celebrities come in to do half-decent wrestling matches these days.
Right. Yeah, well, that's why I say that the business has changed, because you know as well as me, 15 years ago, wouldn't nothing like that happen.
Well, there was a lot made. I wanted to get your take on the Hall of Fame this year. Obviously, you are a Hall of Famer, and they welcomed another referee into the Hall of Fame, Tim White, this year. Now, a lot of people are saying this is the first ref, but technically, you were the first referee to go in. But a lot of people say you're more of a personality. You weren't sent in as specifically just a referee,
Right. Well, I didn't go in as a ref, in the Hall of Fame as a referee. They inducted me as, being general manager of SmackDown, and for as maybe, managing the guys that I managed. But see, refereeing, people don't understand. I love that, because if it hadn't been for me being a referee, I wouldn't be where I am today. So I think it's a great thing that they're now deciding to put referees in the Hall of Fame. I'm so happy for Tim White. God rest his soul, man. He was a great guy. I had a chance to work with him when I first got there, man, and he always looked out for me, man. What a great guy. And, nobody deserves it better than Timmy White.
Yeah, for sure, man. And that's the thing. It's nice to see more people in the business that are outside of just the wrestler starting to get some appreciation and love in that regard. I don't know if you think that'll change now that Vince McMahon has less sway over that. I don't know if you think Hunter will be rewarding more of those people now.
Well, I really, since I hopefully think that by them, putting Timmy White in, that I hope that is the beginning of something. I hope maybe next year, we can get Mike Chioda, Jimmy Caderas, Chad Patton, guys that have, struggled and, been part of the struggle and been in this business for a long, long time. And it's certainly, if you want to say it, they paid their dues. So hopefully, these guys can make it to the Referees Hall of Fame.
So how do you feel about your relationship with WWE right now? I know we've had conversations in the past where you've talked about how you were frustrated, but I mean, there's been a big regime change, and you seem to be more present these days. How do you feel?
Well, like you just said, they had a regime change. You know what I mean? So that's there you go right there. But I feel real good, man. Like I said, I'm not there to try to be full-time anymore. You know what I mean? I really don't want that. I just want to enjoy the rest of my life, and go back and make a presence like I'm doing, like I just did this past weekend. I'm happy with that. But if they want me to come back and do something full-time, I got no problem with that. But I think, like you said, with the regime change now, it's a lot better. The morale is better because I was there. I had a chance to witness that. So, I'd love to be, a full-time part of it if that's what they wanted me to do.
What do you think about Endeavor coming in here? I mean, it's only going to be WWE as you know it for maybe a couple more months, because pretty soon it's going to be like WWE and UFC as one big company, which is wild to think about.
Well, I don't, that's just hard to really discuss right now, because you just don't know what the plans are, and you don't know what direction, the company is really going in. So I think the only thing we have to do now is just sit back and just watch and see what happens. But I really feel within myself that they're making a great move by what they're doing now. And I think it's going to be better for the boys and everybody.
A lot of times I was an attraction, which, I mean, I've had a great career. I'm not knocking that at all. But a lot of time I was like the building maintenance guy and fill in all these holes because, you know, I could step into these roles and help this guy get to the next level or this celebrity do this and not really take as many hits on my persona or my image as bad.